Coming up on VUCast, a startling study on intensive care unit patients, a Pulitzer Prize winning author, and the real world of politics. And how would you rate our professors? Hi, I'm Carol Bartu. If you have ever had a loved one in an intensive care unit, you're going to want to pay close attention to this story. A recent Vanderbilt study shows a significant number of patients are entering ICUs throughout the world with no evidence of cognitive brain-related issues, but they're leaving with symptoms associated with mild Alzheimer's or traumatic brain injury. Barb Kramer has more.
They come into intensive care very sick, being treated for a critical illness. And doctors now know many leave with long-term cognitive impairment.
So they came in with a problem that was a neck-down issue. They left with this new problem, which was a neck-up issue.
In a newly released brain ICU study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, Vanderbilt researchers determined that 74% of patients studied developed delirium, a predictor of developing a dementia-like brain disease.
Hold up this many fingers. Very good.
Even more startling, the study of more than 800 ICU patients found that 40% of the patients had symptoms similar to moderate traumatic brain injury. 26% had symptoms similar to Alzheimer's, even several months after their hospital stay.
Most strikingly, we found that even if you were a young person, 30 and 40 years old, and even if you had no pre-existing illnesses, you came into a medical or surgical ICU, those young people and the older people aren't able to think clearly, their memory is impaired, they're not able to organize the way that they're thinking. This is a real significant problem in their life from the ability of day-to-day living.
Researchers say at least some of this brain injury may be prevented.
And squeeze my hands. So we think we should use less sedation, have them more awake and alert, and earlier to walk in the ICU, even on the ventilator.
And doctors say doing brain exercises once released from the hospital will help.
We have some early evidence to say that you can build their brain back by using cognitive rehabilitation. When the patients get well enough to get out of the ICU, we're putting them through brain exercises like Sudoku and Scrabble that can help them get that cognitive function, that memory rebuilt so they can get on with their life.
We consider survival a successful outcome, and it is a successful outcome, but I think the second part to this is making sure we get them back to where they were prior to them coming to the ICU. The greater the duration of delirium, the worse your outcomes. So every day matters.
For VUCast, Barb Kramer reporting.
A big thanks to the Ukrainian parliament for reminding us when you think things have gotten bad between Republicans and Democrats in this country, it can always be worse. The battle in our Congress is just a war of words that is as old as our country itself. Some Vanderbilt students are getting a special political lesson of their own thanks to distinguished visiting professor and Pulitzer Prize winning author John Meacham. The timely course topic, the fate of the Republican Party.
I hope that students understand that within political parties, there's almost always a struggle between purists and pragmatists, between those for whom principle is all and defeat is a necessary condition of that, and the more pragmatic people who tend to take 50% as opposed to 100% and figure that they can fight for the other 50% another day.
These 16 students are soaking up the world according to Meacham.
Having someone such as John Meacham on campus who has so much real-world experience and just such an interesting perspective on things, having that opportunity is something that I thought I really need to take advantage of.
The Chattanooga native won the Pulitzer Prize for American Lion, his book on President Andrew Jackson. And his most recent biography on Thomas Jefferson, The Art of Power, was a #1 New York Times bestseller. For the Chancellor's Lecture Series November 5th, Meacham and NBC newsman Tom Brokaw joined sons Stephen and Andrew Schlesinger for an analysis of letters written by their father, Arthur Schlesinger Jr. He was an advisor to presidents and a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner. The event is free and open to the public.
Quick View.
Which college has the best professors? The Rate My Professor 2013 rankings are in, and Vanderbilt is #2. Yes, #2 in the nation, ahead of Stanford and Penn State, to name a few. All that studying makes for a hungry Commodore nation. Where do we stand in the best college food rankings? Number 34 in the country. Now those are two good reasons that it is good to be gold. For VUCast, I'm Carol Bartu.